In a quiet village by the sea, there lived a curious little boy named Nilo. His world was the endless blue expanse that stretched to the horizon. Every morning, he'd sit on the rocks, tossing pebbles into the water, his mind filled with dreams of grand adventures. Nilo's father was a fisherman, and though the boy begged to join him, his father's words were always the same. "The sea is powerful, my son. It gives, but it can also take. You must learn to respect it first." Nilo held a deep love for the ocean. It was his confidant, his teacher, and his secret world. He'd spend countless hours watching the rhythmic tides, the graceful flight of fish, and the gulls dancing in the salty air. But what truly captured his heart were the dolphins. They would sometimes venture near the shore, their bodies gliding like silver arrows through the waves, and Nilo would watch, utterly mesmerized. One bright morning, following a fierce storm, Nilo was wandering along the beach when he saw a shape he didn't recognize. Lying near the rocks was a dolphin, hopelessly tangled in an old, discarded fishing net. Its smooth skin was scratched, and its eyes, dark and intelligent, were filled with a raw, primal fear. Without a moment's hesitation, Nilo rushed forward. "Don't worry," he whispered, his own hands trembling with a mix of fear and determination. "I'll save you." He found a sharp shell nearby and began to meticulously saw at the thick, biting ropes. The dolphin thrashed in panic, but Nilo's voice remained a gentle, calming murmur. He spoke to the creature, not with words it could understand, but with an emotion that transcended species, a pure, unselfish desire to help. After what felt like an eternity, the final strand of the net gave way. With a weak cry, the dolphin slipped back into the freedom of the water. Nilo watched, his heart heavy, expecting it to disappear into the vastness of the sea, but it didn't. Instead, the dolphin turned back. Its dark eyes met his, and in that silent gaze, a profound message was exchanged, a look of pure, unadulterated gratitude. Then, with a flick of its tail, it vanished beneath the waves. The very next morning, Nilo returned to his spot by the shore. He heard a familiar splash and looked up. Out in the shallows, the same dolphin he had saved leaped from the water, twisting playfully in the air. Nilo's face broke into a wide, delighted grin. He laughed and waved, and to his utter astonishment, the dolphin answered with a cheerful, high-pitched whistle. From that day forward, an extraordinary friendship blossomed. Every dawn, the dolphin, whom Nilo lovingly named Miro, would appear near the rocks, waiting for his human friend. They became inseparable. Together, they played games in the gentle surf, raced each other along the shimmering waves, and explored the hidden wonders of coral caves beneath the sea's surface. Miro showed Nilo how to dive deep and hold his breath, unlocking the secrets of the underwater world. In return, Nilo taught Miro tricks with colorful shells and flowing seaweed. They communicated in their own secret language, a symphony of whistles, splashes, and shared smiles that only they could understand. News of the boy and the dolphin spread through the small village like wildfire. Some residents called it a miracle, a blessing from the sea itself. Others were more cautious, warning that the ocean was a fickle mistress, and that such an unlikely friendship was bound to end in heartbreak. But Nilo paid them no mind. In his heart, Miro wasn't just a dolphin. He was his brother, his other half, his family. Then, one day, the sky began to brood. A storm, unlike any the village had ever seen, rolled in from the distant horizon. The heavens turned a menacing black, and the sea, once Nilo's gentle friend, roared with an untamed fury. Monstrous waves crashed against the shore, swallowing fishing boats whole. The villagers scrambled, desperately trying to secure their homes and their livelihoods against the onslaught. "Nilo, get inside now!" his father shouted, his voice nearly lost in the howling wind. But Nilo's heart was pounding with a terror that wasn't for himself. His thoughts were consumed by one thing: Miro. He imagined his friend, alone and trapped in the swirling, chaotic waters. Ignoring his father's pleas, he broke free and ran headlong toward the beach. The rain fell like needles, stinging his face, and the ferocious wind threatened to sweep him off his feet, but he pressed on. Reaching the churning water's edge, he screamed into the storm, his voice cracking with desperation. "Miro, where are you?" For a moment, the only reply was the deafening clap of thunder. Then, through the chaos of the crashing waves, he saw it. A lone fin, struggling valiantly against the violent current. It was Miro, caught in the storm's wrath, fighting for his life. Without a second thought, Nilo dove into the raging sea. The icy water shocked his system, but he pushed forward, his focus singular, calling his friend's name over and over. When he finally reached Miro, he grabbed onto the dolphin's fin, holding on with every ounce of his strength. "I've got you, Miro," he gasped. "We'll make it through this together." Hand in fin, they fought against the monstrous waves. Each towering surge threatened to tear them apart, but their bond was stronger than the storm. Nilo's small arms ached with exhaustion, but his spirit burned with an unyielding fire. Miro seemed to sense his friend's fading strength. With a surge of power, he turned his body, using his own immense strength to push Nilo toward the relative safety of the shore. Just as the boy's vision began to blur and fade, one final colossal wave lifted them both and hurled them onto the sand. Nilo coughed, gasping for air, his lungs burning. Through a haze of exhaustion, he saw Miro lying motionless beside him. "No, please!" Nilo cried out, his voice raw with grief. He dragged his weary body to the dolphin's side. He splashed water over Miro's skin, his pleas turning into soft whispers. "You can't leave me. Please, don't leave me." For a long, agonizing moment, there was nothing. Then, Miro's tail twitched. Slowly, weakly, he lifted his head and let out a soft, faint whistle. A smile broke through Nilo's tears. The storm was over. As if on cue, the sun began to break through the heavy clouds, bathing them in a warm, golden light. When the worried villagers finally found them, they saw the boy and the dolphin lying side by side, two survivors, like brothers. From that day on, no one in the village ever doubted their bond again. They began to see the ocean not as a powerful enemy to be feared, but as a living, breathing entity, one that could love, protect, and teach, just as it had through the pure friendship of Nilo and Miro. Years passed. Nilo grew into a strong, capable man, a respected sailor known for his wisdom of the tides. Yet, every single morning, he would walk to the shore, a quiet ritual, and whistle softly into the wind. And sometimes, just sometimes, when the sea was perfectly calm and the morning light danced upon the waves, a familiar fin would break the surface. It would leap once, a flash of silver gleaming in the sunlight, before disappearing back into the deep blue. And Nilo would smile, a quiet whisper escaping his lips. "Thank you, my friend." Their story became a legend, a cherished tale passed down from parents to children, a story of incredible loyalty, unwavering courage, and a bond that transcended the boundaries between two very different souls. For in the pure heart of a child and the gentle spirit of a dolphin, the world was given a timeless lesson: that true friendship needs no words and knows no barriers. It requires only trust and a love that asks for nothing in return. Thank you for joining us on this heartwarming journey. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspirational tales. We'll see you next time.